It's Friday the 20th of August, and just want to give you an update regarding haymaking and also progress regarding the new barn I might have mentioned about previously. Haymaking this season has been a bit hit and miss. We did have the early dry, really sunny dry weather in beginning of June. We got about a third of the hay then. And then a decent chunk around the middle of July. We had a really hot few days, and that was great. And by then, some of the grass had bulked up quite well. But since then, it's been it's been pretty pants really. It's been very unsettled. No proper good consistent spells of dry weather. So as we're approaching bank holiday weekend next weekend, by then it really could do with getting second cut done and also the grass off the conservation areas. So I'm just going to take you around and just show you those, and we'll just call in at the barn site, and I'll give you an update regarding that. So this is the small field which has bulked up really quite well. I was a bit patchy with the fertiliser. I had a bag of fertiliser, a small bag, which had got quite damp. So it was really difficult to spread, so it is uneven. But I think if nothing else, what it does show you is the influence of a dose of fertiliser. This was done after first cut in early June, so it's had a reasonable spell to grow, and it has been so unsettled it's grown quite well. So this got quite a bit of fertiliser on it, and so you can see how that's bulked up okay. There's other patches there that didn't get much, that no great growth. But if we do get a decent spell of weather, this is well worth getting. Not a vast amount of bales off this anyway, but what we like is the quality of this. Also it goes for rabbits at a premium, so it'd be nice to get this. It also tidies it up, you know, it means I don't have to come through and top it, and so if we get a decent spell of weather, it will be worthwhile doing it. So this is one of the conservation grass areas, and to be fair, there's an awful lot of grass on there. It amazes me that most, if not every year, this grass grows as strong as anything, gets no fertiliser, it hasn't had fertiliser spray for more than 60 years. But whether this is the shelter from the trees, but it just keeps coming. I deliberately wait until as late as possible to cut this, just make sure everything's seed. It's a great nectar source, has some really good observations of butterflies on it this year. So in previous years I've cut it around August bank holiday, so if that can be done in the next fortnight, that would be great. But mowing this is quite tricky because when it falls over, it doesn't actually go far. It's so dense, and actually seeing which bit you've cut and which you haven't can be quite tricky. But this yield a reasonable number of bales. There's a good market for it, you know, and I do walk through and make sure there's no ragwort in it. So I've got one more pass to do just to double check. But you know, as a hay which hasn't got fertiliser and sprays on it, it's certainly a premium crop. And the benefit of cutting it this time of year is that it's starting to die anyway. So if it was cut a month ago, it would probably take an awful lot of drying. This usually isn't too bad. Now the weather forecast for this week is Friday today. Weather forecast for the weekend is pretty rubbish. There was a warning out this morning for thunderstorms, which looks like Saturday. Previously it was going to be wet on Sunday. That's been brought forward to Saturday, but that probably will be good for us because it looks like from Monday onwards next week it'll be dry. Not hot, but dry. Having said that, I've been watching the various weather models, you know, the international models that the clever people use to do the forecast, and I excuse me, and I definitely understand how it keeps going wrong, because the forecast models, they often conflict. Almost within 12 hours they can go 180 degrees. Different models, I mean there's 4 or 5 of them. They don't always agree by any means. And I think all this talk recently in the UK of certainly in the national press of it having a heat wave, you can see where they get it from, but you can see how quickly it unravels. So the plan at the moment really is to see what the models look like on Sunday night, Monday morning, and if next week is dry, even if it's not hot, we'll get on and get this cut and the small field as well, and I don't think it needs intense heat, it just needs dry. So we'll probably suffer a bit over the weekend with some thunderstorms, a lot of rain, but get that through and see what happens next. So this is the bigger field that was done in 2 goes, and it didn't get any fertiliser at all after it was cut. And you can really see that the grass just hasn't grown at all. That's fine, I didn't intend that it would do a second cut this year, but the plan is really to sort out the drainage and then give it a lot more fertiliser in future and see if we can make it a bit more productive. It's cleaning up pretty well in terms of weeds and the like. We've got it widened, and so it's again, it should be a good hay field. It dries quite well out here. It's a nice level field, so yeah, but again, it's just a lesson of if you don't put fertiliser on, you really don't get a lot of grass. So hopefully this will be very different next year. We don't have sheep, so putting fertiliser on, if you can get an early crop of hay, is a bit of a gamble, because you could have a really good heavy crop of grass and then the weather just lets you down this time of year, which it very often does. So it is a gamble. So next year we probably will do things differently and probably put some urea fertiliser on and give it a bit of a go. So this is the site of the proposed new open-fronted barn, and the good news is that we have got planning permission. I had to go for full planning on this because of its height and the proximity to actually two airfields, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. We are obviously quite close to the wood, and there are other barns on the premises, and I just feared that it will all get very bogged down, but to be fair to them, planners have been very pragmatic. They've been very sensible about it all. It had support from the parish council, and I think people can see it's a corner that's tucked away. It's out of sight from local residents and the like. It's in proportion to the size of the undertaking here, and yeah, I've got to go ahead. The only conditions are those that would just protect the neighbours during construction in terms of noise and working hours, and also the environment, that we do take account of the environment we're actually building it. So there's no heat in any of that, so that is good. Now when we'll actually start it, I'm not sure. Trying to get prices for steel buildings at the moment is a little bit tricky. Suppliers have been short, 1 or 2 people haven't even quoted, and this might not be the best time to actually erect a steel frame building. I think although when prices go up, it can be very difficult to get them back down again. I'm kind of inclined to get the base done, get the stone in, get the earthworks done and everything else, and then to see how it goes after that. There's no busting rush to erect the barn. Now is the right time to get the permission, but we can do oddly with just having the base in place, get the stone in, and see how things go. A nice dip in commodity prices would be great for steel, but I think the thing with steel at the moment is not to get carried away. You know, yes, there's a flurry of activity, and supply chains are really tricky. I think it was always anticipated that commodity prices would go up at a stage like this, certainly within the cycle of the virus, and you know, if people are catching up a little bit and people are getting back to work and supplies are improving, then you know, maybe it's just best just to sit tight. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, the main thing is permission's in place, and as long as we make a start in the next 3 years, that's all good. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that brief update. Hopefully things will happen next week regarding haymaking, that we can get that put to bed. A few more bales will be really good at this stage. The demand is certainly there, and just trying to get that sorted out, it will be a bit of a relief, really. If you're enjoying the videos, you know, please just click the like, and always grateful for subscribers. It does encourage more videos. I do hope for them to be informative, and that we can just share experiences. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.